Yeah. Operation Rapper Inquisition. Still here. Operation Rapper Inquisition. All the gods and goddesses. Iron Sheik. Hip hop lives, yo. The deaf won't hear and the blind won't see the hidden message in the words of Drew Ali. Inepts indirectly, Boo Ali, one of the names of the prophets internationally. Drew said Moors, proclaim your nationality, cause you're not Ethiopian or NBC. So he founded America's MST in 28. Me saying that they will cause debates are needed to clear up the mess. But most debate so they can big up their chest to prove what they know and what they can do. Recreating the wheel that was created by Drew. When you know the truth, many debate, but few humble themselves and surpass the jungle himself. Do them, I just do me, keeping my gold while they trade in their jewelry. Tariq and nature-based schooled me. You fool me in your dreams. Dirty Moors think they can mule me truly. Who's the real Drew? Me and we. I seen more. Their religion is my mental degree, and where everybody's supposed to be. If not, I guess that's not where you're supposed to be. Hopefully, Drew Ali will be seen openly and realize NBC is something you can be. The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see. They hear the message in the words of Drew Ali. The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see. They hear the message in the words of Drew Ali. The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see. They hear the message in the words of Drew Ali. The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see. They hear the message in the words of Drew Ali. It seems unconscious Moors love the semblance of identity and having no remembrance of the Moorish past, no resemblance of the ancestral land inheritance. Love being the children, not the parents. To do any activity asking for clearance. Their minds like crystal, nothing but clearance. Everyone can progress in their land, the heirs can't. It's your status. Stop blaming racists who bleed just like you. If you shank their faces, you Moors flew here in pyramid spaceships, and they use that as an emblem on their aprons, and can't be free if not Moorish Masons. Black or more Europeans are not Caucasians, coming to the new world to civilize pagans. With boats and harbors from mosques on hills, we sending in agents. The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see. They hear the message in the words of Drew Ali. The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see. They hear the message in the words of Drew Ali. The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see. They hear the message in the words of Drew Ali. The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see. They hear the message in the words of Drew Ali.
We transcend and ascend in this. It's a journey, just like the Moors traveling. Worlds upon worlds that's found within. It gotta touch her as we exhale. Past all distorted truths and the lies they tell to keep y'all from drinking at the well. Divine love, that's the fountain of youth. Sun peeped it. This is the alchemist's secret. Restoring true unity, resurrecting a community. So every day awake to fight. Though it's hard, it's rest guard. In every demonstration, I'm penetrating to the depths of the mind. A noble chief, well kept and refined. Your feeling is bright like the star Sirius. This musician is the son of man. I look within, Drew Ali on the canvas of my soul to replenish the whole, replacing the old. It's critical, reaching to the pinnacle. Native and original MC that's relevant, and the style is intelligent, but I keep it interesting. Dropping true math in the cipher if you enter in. The law is the center, so study yourself and be renewed. That's elevation, restoration through contemplation and meditation. Now the soul's navigating, manifesting all creation. The roomy of this mic, utilizing the light on the path. My body is an astro lab. I take the right actions, and my compass is compassion for internal alchemy.
The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see. They hear the message in the words of Drew Ali. The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see. They hear the message in the words of Drew Ali. The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see. They hear the message in the words of Drew Ali. The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see. They hear the message in the words of Drew Ali. the truth. There's UFOs and underground bunkers. Still use nanotech to hunt us. Throat chakra tapper, watcher of the watchers. Pulling up the skirts of the agent stalkers like top plates and midnight marauders. Stomping on e-villains, conspiring with warlords and straw gods. Tried to hide but they saw us. With candles, tear the matrix, turn to sawdust. Many love to use force and wasting power, leaving water running and you're not even in the shower. Class in the kitchen when I go to Palmer. On their court when the servants are on you. Ask for warrant calls and oaths of police enforcers. Only when we tell them will they do for us. Pulling out Billy Bats ready for orders. Beat yourself in the head to a corpus. This ain't the 60s, I'll help Klansmen burn crosses. Suicide raw mission and vision got them taking losses. Codes on Morses, sung by daughters of a star and a set, the moon and the star orbits. Now we stand on the stage and play auctions, getting offers to play and trade options. You have no defense, only offense. Too late, no smiles when entering GM's office. 10-year veteran treated like a novice. You could act AI, Rodman or Williamson Corliss, or act Hamilton. Why? The players won't start their own league or try. Band ass slapping and on the defense napping and getting schooled by rookie MVP captains, flopping for touch fouls or dribbles over crossing. They should give more than their profit from endorsements, getting fined for comments when fans torment. Only GM sons can apply for ball boy employment. Got sister from the hood paid grants to sing anthems, kicked out the league for drugging and sex scandals. Only real role models, no promos for Cole Brothers. Donate on fiat made from their best-selling old novels. UPLIFTING FALLEN, humanity.
Breathing life to this game. Anyone exploiting the art, I got to kill them. I swing my sword, they die hard. Bruce Willis, this is for the minds of the young Asiatics. The most incredible when I speak mathematics. I generate revenue, so if you see me, I'm never sleepy. I shed light wherever we be, like no the last TV. I'm resurrecting critical thought when I'm expressing. With a depth, East Coast text, it's the return of the avatars, and we catching wreck till it ain't no ink left in any pen. Anywhere that we been, we fearsome with the desire to make the peoples rise up. I'm like Enoch in exquisite scripture, diviner, paradigm shifting, rhyme designer, ascending higher. It's the sire, it's none liver, sons wiser. The Nazarene dream, lyrical messiah, building like a carpenter in Versailles. Hard body with the style, like the ancient poets from the distant past, with skin that was burned like brass, conducting like gold. That's melanin or melanine. I'm still in the limelight from any scene in the flash, like I wear a mask made for skiing. The pristinest MC when I'm teaching, never preaching. When I conceive, birth beneath 16 degrees. That was locked within my genes when my mother first perceived that I was coming into being. Basically, I'm the best at passing any trial or test. When I reach them on the path, rise above them like cream with supreme class. FOI the MCs when I spaz, and the wealth stacking is in action. The precious metal snatching, forging the justice sword slashing. Olive skin Moorish assassin with woolly hair on my beam. The hardest spitting since 16, because I studied like a fiend. And now I smoke mics like Gil Scott is heron. Some we reigning, and from here on we slay men who fake illumination for their own personal gain. And the new Moors is here, yo, it's time for changes.
Yo, IHF to the core empowers me. Super Saiyan levels, Dragon Ball Z. Even if you see me, you don't see me. Alchemy equals backwards in my trees. How they make the fruits with no seeds in the trees. I'm supernatural. Make the stuff with ease, like when nuts blowing in the breeze. Punish system. As we walk in the streets, it's Car City. My heart is for my people. Spiritual war, heavy artillery, full mental storm. Blood and gut spills, faces get torn. So I drop bombs of melanin on the unborn. Ultimate darkness crushes the fake masses. Mess around, get turned out like jackasses. We are the chemistry, get studied in classes. Drive by chemtrails, leave rashes on asses. This stuff ain't for the weak. not for them savages. Sight beyond sight, leave mummer in bandages. Circle 7 light, man, they can't handle this. I shine that bright, get shook in my presence. Don't make me have to stub nose you with my silence. My essence crushes evidence and center resistance. Mother Earth gon' shake, man, and rackle the pestilence. No chemical injections, aka vaccinations. My spidey sense went off, time to switch locations.
Iron Sheik 4, Rapper Inquisition, double album, compilation, a lot on there. So if you got any questions, put it in the chat. Make sure you put it in all caps. Who Stole the Fez? KhalifaMedia.com. I don't think anything on Khalifa Media ever goes out of stock because that's our own publisher. So out of stock, I don't know where you're getting it from. Because some people might be trying to play games, have you try to get it from them. But send an email to KhalifaMedia@gmail.com if you got any questions about any Khalifa Media publications on the website, and they'll definitely be glad to help you out. And since we're talking about that, somebody messaged about the music. How long does it take to get the music if you make your donation? As soon as you get the email. We're not these other Moors out here in 50, 100 million hours to get back to somebody. We'll send your stuff. As soon as you make your donation, let us know which ones you want. You'll have it in a day, probably maybe less than that. I'm new to all this. Where should I start? Like we were saying in the last live, our foundation, as far as to find something about Moors, don't just Google Moors or who are the Moors or whatever like that. Go to rvbaypublications.com. When you go to rvbaypublications.com, if you're a reader, there's enough on there to read. If you're a listener, you can go to the Blog Talk radio show, MHHS Eyes Wide Open on Blog Talk Radio. You go Blog Talk Radio /MHHS Eyes Wide Open. And then that's for the people who are listeners that don't like to read. And you just go there and go back about 8 years and then listen to all those archives from 8 years ago to right now, and you'll be all right as far as you being new to this. And like we said, we sent you to MHHS Eyes Wide Open on Blog Talk, and we sent you to rvbaypublications.com. So in 4 months, when you come back to us and then you say, well, I went to those Moors over there and they told me 5,000 and I paid 5,000 and I got some paperwork, but this doesn't look like the paperwork we didn't send you there. And you shouldn't have went over there because that's not where we sent you. So know that we're not playing around with no bias. We're biased. We are biased. And where we send you, that's where you go. If you want to do your own thing, compass is just spinning. We're telling you go a direction. You look at your compass just spinning. It's like, well, you should go that way. And you're looking at your spinning compass and talk about you're going to listen to your compass. Then you're on your own wherever you end up. Because we told you where to go. rvbaypublications.com. Why and what keeps our people selling out? I mean, well, we are students of Steve Coakley. So when you talk about our people selling out, remember, go where we sent you. Go on YouTube, pull up Steve Coakley, Boule, and go watch his stuff. Just pull up Steve Coakley. Forget Boule. Just pull up Steve Coakley. Anything that comes up Steve Coakley, go watch that. And that'll give you some perspective as to why and what keeps our people selling out, because he's very clear. And then of course Steve Coakley's dead or whatever, so that should let you know something. All right. Why is the NOI still selling out? What's the point to fake uplifting our people? Really, it's who was it that said it? Somebody said it. Cousin Jeff from BT. That might be, some people might not remember Cousin Jeff. But in early BT, there was a dude down there named Cousin Jeff. And Cousin Jeff came out one time in a BT show and said, the reason why we don't play conscious stuff on BT because our people are dumb. And they're not even going to get it. So we're going to give them all the nigger stuff that they want. So why is NOI still selling out? And what's the point of fake uplifting our people? Because that's what the people want. Isn't it the people who fund them? Have them have Moss Miriam and all that stuff? Even though these people are getting funds from the IRS for doing prison programs and all that stuff, people are still going to go buy their bean pies and whatever else, giving them finance, buy their newspaper and all that stuff, and want to know how come your conditions suck still. Because you keep supporting the traders. That's just a pattern with our people. You know what I mean? George Floyd, Philando Castile, whoever that got murdered, these people still have lawyers going up on stage talking for them. These people still have traders who helped kill Martin Luther King. Traders who are rats working for the CIA, FBI, and all that stuff. They're still going on the stage to go talk for our people. Because that's just how our people get down. Right? That's how our people get down, unfortunately. And that's just where it's at. When the people start studying from the right sources, they're going to get the right info. They're going to realize that, damn, the Europeans not our problem. Our people are a problem. And then instead of people being martyrs and our people doing nothing, people would stop being martyrs and the people would put themselves up to be martyrs. But there's not going to be a million martyrs. They will yield once the people step up and start wanting to handle their own affairs. Until then, our people are in trouble. Because these Europeans have their little black sellout leader people, and the black sellout leader people are the ones that are controlling the narrative of our people. Where can I learn about Islam, the science? Go on YouTube. And people better be taking notes if they're asking questions or whatever. Go on YouTube, pull up Delbert Blair, Delbert Blair, Delbert Blair. Pull up C. Freeman L, letter C, Freemanel, C. Freeman L. Let's start with those two. They got enough stuff out there about Islam, the science, which Islam, the science is earthly, and then it goes into, ethers. Try those two. If those two don't straighten you out, but those two are going to straighten you out. C. Freemanel and Delbert Blair. Start there as far as know about this. Oh, and also, Manly P. Hall. Manly, letter P, Hall. C. Freemanel, Delbert Blair, Manly P. Hall, if you want to find out about quote unquote the science. Is it for the monopoly money? Is why they sell out? Yep, because everybody who studies knows that real money is gold and silver, precious metals, things that have substance and value. Oil, things that, natural resources, those are the money. Somebody's getting, I secured the bag, and then they open the bag, and then all you see is rectangles in there, like Rise of the Moorish says. You just see rectangles. That's not money. And they just played you. I'm going to stick you up, give me the ransom. And then they open the thing and it's not diamonds and pearls and rubies and stuff in there. They're giving you paper. Don't take them serious. They didn't give you anything. They just played you. They just played you. And Islam on the 7, you already know. You already know. What do I say to the Haitian Moors in Haiti that say the Constitution of Haiti says we are so-called black? Well, first thing, with regard to the Haitian Moors, is they're American. They're not Africans, came over here from somewhere. They're American. That's the first thing. If they're American, that means they're Aboriginal and Indigenous. If they're Aboriginal and Indigenous, that would mean that the Constitution, the supreme law of the land, is not the Constitution of Haiti. The supreme law of the land is the Constitution for the United States of America Republic, because Haiti is one of those as well, republic. Just like all the other Caribbean islands that are republics, and all of them are saying, F the Queen right now, we're bringing the republic back. Unfortunately, they're doing that too late after IMF already raped them of all their resources. Now they want to be republics, when they should have been doing that 20 years ago, 30 years ago, before IMF even went in there. When they were talking about, yeah, we're independent, and they're parading around the street as if they're independent when they weren't. Because you're not, if the slave master is saying you're independent, you're not independent. You're still a slave. But again, they didn't have the knowledge that Noble Drew Ali left for them in the 1920s, because all the Caribbean so-called prime ministers, presidents, whatever, all of them were sellouts. There were some of them that were, working for the people. Maurice Bishop, Eric Williams. There were certain ones that were working for the people, but there were some sellouts. And unfortunately, once sellouts are around, you have no chance, because they're going to do everything in their power to make sure that the people don't make it to the line, much less cross the line. Even crossing the line is not even an option, right? Crossing the line is not an option. Repeat again, just got the pen. All right, so RV Bay Publications is the website. That's the website, quote unquote, the website, right? If you want Moorish free stuff. MHHS Eyes Wide Open is the Blog Talk radio show. The lecturers who you're going to study from, as far as the science of the Moors, Delbert Blair, Manly P. Hall, C. Freemanel. All the Iron Sheik music that you hear us play all the time, because we don't play KRS-One and all that BS. We play Moors. We play Moors. We don't play black guys. willofallah.com. If you have issues with your downloads from willofallah.com, email Canaanland Guide, CANAANLAND GUIDE @gmail.com. If you have issues with your download, make sure you check your spam and all that stuff, because I don't know why you're going to put in your email address to whatever and then they're going to send it to your spam. It doesn't make sense, but whatever. This is just how the online stuff goes when you're dealing with truth. They try to make you get frustrated and stuff. And then for all of the Kudjo L books and other books, you can go to khalifamedia.com, and Khalifa Media is right in here right now. Just go follow so you can get yourself up to speed. And again, if anybody has any questions, just put it in the chat. All right. How do we combat the sellouts? Well, when we look at all the other nations in the world, when people sell out in the world, they get put on a wall and they face the firing squad. when perverts touch children in India, all the men find that guy, and then they hold him down by his hands and legs, and then all the women come with their bats and their sticks or whatever like that, and they beat them to death. Right? Considering that these people that we're talking about are sellouts, that means they're snitches. So as soon as you gun butt them or whatever like that, they're going to go run to the highwayman. Now you got to deal with charges or whatever because some traitor or whatever. So to save yourself the headache of having to deal with all that BS, anytime you see a sellout or a traitor or a pedophile or whatever like that, right, you call them out for what they are. And don't be afraid to call them out, call their name, give their address out. Let somebody else go deal with it. But just make sure you don't see, little whoever getting touched by some freak, and then you just, let them parade around like it's okay that they did that. Again, we don't have the means to say, bat signal in the sky or whatever like that, and then he comes and then we tell him, hey, penguins over there trying to do some stuff to little boys, and let Batman go deal with it. Because penguins gonna snitch. Guarantee you they're gonna snitch. So don't get yourself caught up in some dumb stuff with some highwaymen and all that stuff because some sellout and it really comes down to the people. Now, if we say, oh, yeah, guy's a sellout, and then 500 people go and beat his ass, that's a different thing. Because, by the time the 500th individual comes to get their shot in, he's already limb from limb. So it's not even going to be an issue of anybody coming or whatever like that, because everybody who was there is not going to snitch. Right? If you have any questions, put it in the chat in all caps. Any questions at all? There's no questions that can't be asked. Whatever questions you got, especially all you new people, because this is something that we do. Right? Make sure that the people have the info, because our people die for a lack of knowledge. And the reason why the people lack knowledge is because, same thing we're talking about, these traders who aren't giving it up. All right? People who aren't giving it up. Or they'll give it up to you, but you got to give them $500 for a consultation fee. And then they give you a little 2.5% of 100% of knowledge. And then you think you got something because that guy said, he gave me the keys. No, he didn't give you the keys. He gave you the ring that the keys go on. You thought you got some keys. I'm working on a Moorish economic system, but first I need to find out how to nationalize, how to live as a national, how to get a passport. So when we talk about Moorish economics system, you have to realize that if we have a Moorish economic system, which means it's our own since it's Moorish, right? You have to be able to give whatever the economy is asking for and then be able to get change back. So if you can't give a 20 note with Noble Drew Ali's face on it and then somebody giving you back change with ones, twos, fives, whatever, with Noble Drew Ali's face on it or Garvey's face or whatever like that, you're probably not going to really have an economic system like that, right? And then the reason why is because Drew Ali did this stuff 100 years ago, and people sold it out. So certain things are far removed from being a reality. But the people who play people are going to bring these things in modern time as if it relates now. And it really doesn't relate now. When you look at Prince Uriel Bey, you can look him up too. He had his own money and all that stuff, and we don't even see that in circulation right now. How come? If they had their own money and it was bonded and all that stuff and had value and whatever, where'd it go? What happened? Man transitions and what the money just disappears. How look, don't they call the stuff dead presidents right now? That stuff's still around, people using it, and all those people are dead. That's on that, and the people who started that are dead. How come that's still in circulation? So something's going on as far as Moorish economic system. So when we say Moorish economic system, we should look at it from the perspective of energy, not things that we think is money and currency or whatever. We should look at it as energy. So our fives is love, our tens is truth, our 20s is peace, and looking out for your brother is a quarter. Looking out for little sister, making sure, for example, Amorden, I know, we were talking about him last week, or on Sunday's class. He had a situation with his wife or whatever, she cheated, so, he's getting a divorce or whatever, and he didn't want to stay at the house, right? So I gave him the couch, so he could sleep on the couch, because, why go out there pay, $1,500 for rent when you're my boy and I could look out for you. That's Moorish economics, right? And then him being here, we're able to discuss, and he could vent and talk about how should he deal with this or whatever like that. And I'm telling him, well, it's really all about the children. Forget her, forget you. It's about the children. That's currency. That's the economics. It takes a village to raise a child and adults. So that's where I go when I think Moorish economics. I don't think about having our own money, having our own coins, having our own, because there's that stuff already out there. If I want that, you just go get that. It ain't no big deal. You want Moorish economics, you want silver, then go buy silver. Go buy gold. You could get that. Right? How to nationalize. First thing with nationalization, nationality, is mindset, which is why we go back to the beginning of this thing that we're doing right now, where we told people where to go to get the information. So forget about papers and cards and you're going to whatever. If you don't have 5 years in this right now, you shouldn't be concerned with papers and cards and all that. Because we know Moors, 10 years they've been studying. They don't even have nationality card and all that stuff yet. Because in their mind, they're still detoxing the Negro out of them. So they don't want to be a Negro-minded individual with a Moorish nationality card or Moorish paperwork. And then some people want the microwave version, where eventually that's gonna get you. So we say how to nationalize. First is to have the mindset of a national. And to have a mindset of a national, you're gonna have to put in some study time. Go to those sites, go to those lectures, get some information first. And like we said, if you're talking about, oh yeah, I've been studying. How long have you been studying? Oh yeah, I've been studying for a year. You're still a fetus. You're not even formed yet. You're not even formed yet. So don't worry about nationalizing. You might not want to hear that, but that's what it is. Or you can listen to that trader over there who's going to tell you $10,000 for papers, and then you're going to pay because you think, oh yeah, this is the way to do it. And then he's going to play you out of 10 grand, and you're going to be coming back complaining, oh, how do I get out of this? Because I lost my car, I lost my house, because that guy over there said I could nationalize, and then I went and did it. Well, nobody sent you over there. What are you doing over there? He told you go to RV Bay Publications and go study. How do I get a passport? How I got a passport is based on your second question, how to live as a national. And how to live as a national was knowing how to deal with these foreigners. So my position, a lot of people don't take this position, which is cool. You know, my position is I don't need no issues with these colonists. I personally don't want any issues with them. I know how to live in contracts. I know everything that I sign is a contract. So if they say passport, and you know what I mean, I want to go see the Moors near, you know what I mean, New Jersey. I want to go visit some Moors somewhere. Right? Yeah, I could go put on nationality card. But last time I went put on nationality card, they held me in the back and all that stuff, and then I missed the plane. And I ain't getting no finance back. So, not that nationality card doesn't work, but those people are criminals that have the plane, the airlines, and all that stuff. So since they're criminal, I'll give them their criminal stuff. All rights reserved on the line. The picture has my fez on it and all that. And here's the passport, which is theirs. It's not mine. I'm just using that under threat, duress, and coercion, because last time I used a nationality card, they made me lose 600. And I'm not losing 600 again. Why would I lose 600 again, try to prove some point to these people? I ain't nothing to prove to them. I already know that they're colonists and that they stole my land. That's why the airport is where it's at, and borders and all that stuff. So here's the passport. And then now when I go to the airport, have a great trip, sir, and all that stuff. And then if they do send me in the back, it's not, you know what I mean, holding me up and all that stuff. It's, we just had to bring you back here, because policy of the, check your bags. But we're going to put you on and then just go down that hall and hang a right there and hang a left there. And when you go through that door, you're going to be right where your plane is. I'd rather that than losing 600 with these people playing prove Moorish stuff to them. Right? And again, that comes with study, knowing how to live within contracts, which is vast, broad, but all that information you can get from rvbaypublications.com, so you can get yourself together. All right. We are born Moors under divine universal law. Correct. We're born Moors. We're born Moors. We just didn't have the consciousness that we're that. And we didn't have the consciousness that we're Moors because all the people who we listened to before Noble Drew Ali was a traitor and didn't tell you that we're Moors. They told you that you're Negro, black, colored, Anunnaki, and all this other stuff that has nothing to do with you living on this earth plane with this colonist who's stealing all your stuff. What is the Al-Islam Muslims' take on us, including them as Moors? The Al-Islam Muslims, their take on us is in favor when we engage them and say that we're Sufis, even though Sufis are Muslims. But when we say that we're Sufis and they say that they're Sunni, Shiite, and all that stuff, they don't have any debate. When we start talking about Noble Drew Ali and the Moorish, then they might kind of get funny because they have a prophet and he's the last prophet of the prophets, and then it gets into this religion stuff where, like your sexual orientation, religion is supposed to be not even talked about. I don't care. What I don't care. It doesn't concern me. But guaranteed, when I deal with Muslims, me personally, when I deal with Muslims, off the top, I'm Sufi. Oh yeah. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam, and they go wherever I go my way, and there ain't no issues. Right? We have to use U.S. notes and convert it to silver and gold. Yep, because they're gonna allow you to do that. Take that finance, right? Take that gold and silver. Or take that paper and convert it to gold and silver, or convert it to something. Don't convert it to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin and all that stuff, that's still a fiction. That's it. That at least the fiat currency you could hold. Bitcoin, you can't even hold that. You don't even know what that is. That's not even something that you can see. And if they're going to tell you, yeah, buy Bitcoin, and then you're going to go buy 0.557% of a coin, and you're not questioning, hold on a second, how am I going to spend 0.0035% of a coin? How am I going to spend that? You know, so don't get caught up in all that stuff. You want tangible things if you're going to be converting notes to something. Convert it to something that's tangible, that you can hold in your hand. I can't tell you my full system plan, because this plan also to counter COINTELPRO, when you keep COINTELPRO in the dark, it leaves them blind. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, and you shouldn't want to, you know, put your system out there and people to know what's going on and all that stuff, you know. But you better not be doing that stuff with no novice mindset, you know, because it's like banking. Things like banking are cornered markets. They don't allow people in those markets. Either you're creating your own that has nothing to do with them, or you're gonna have issues, right? Because they're not gonna let you. They're not gonna let you. You realize all the other nations, they come here with their own bank. They don't go and pretend to be somebody else or whatever. They come with their own bank. Bank of India, Bank of China, Bank of Saudi Arabia, Bank of whatever. They don't have Bank of America for the Saudis. They don't do that. They come here with their own stuff. And like we said, when Noble Drew Ali was around, they were talking about Grand Treasury. But that was our bank. And remember, in Noble Drew Ali's time, they were collecting gold and silver coins for dues, because they didn't have no fiat currency yet. There was no paper that wasn't backed by gold and silver. If there was paper, it was backed by gold and silver. It wasn't debt notes. And that was our bank. And then what happened to that? Go ask those traders who robbed the treasury and built Mos Miriam and all that stuff. I'm in Michigan Territory, Flint. There's a MSTA in Flint, but looks empty. Should inquire with the MSTA in Detroit. Yeah, nothing's wrong with the temple. It's the people in it. Nothing's wrong with the temple. It's the people who are in the temple that's the problem. So once you go to these temples, you know, like Brother Mutadi L could verify that when we went to Pittsburgh Corporation, and we went to the temple there, and we had to look inside the mail slot to see if anybody was inside. And then when they came out, they didn't invite us in and give us a tour and all that stuff. We already knew that those people are traitors. Because there's no way you're going to have Moorish Science Temple of America building. The doors are locked. There's no sign on it. You got the nudie bar windows on the temple. And then Moors are coming there from across the country, and you're coming outside and closing the door behind you and talking to Moors outside. You know? And I'm talking about, you know, knocking on the door, because our mindset is, if there's a temple here, somebody must be inside. You know what I mean? Somebody must be inside. It's a weekend. Like, why wouldn't anybody be inside? You know? And then they were inside. They just weren't answering the door for whatever reason. We don't care, because they didn't have a sign on the building. So we're not even looking at them as Moorish Science Temple. So how do you know that that was the temple? GPS. You just put it in Google. You know? Just put it in Google. Yep, and one of the Moors said, yeah, we're just, out here. I live in Pittsburgh or whatever like that. We just want to check the temple. This is my Grand Sheik right here. They didn't even buy that. But then, when we looked in the mail slot, we saw the pictures on the wall. Well, we knew, oh yeah, these guys are the traders, because they had Given Zell on the wall, which is one of the people who sold out Noble Drew Ali. He started calling himself Noble Drew Ali reincarnated, and then people following him as if he's the prophet. Which is corruption. How much of RV publications must I study before I nationalize? What are the first books I must study when studying? Well, if you go to rvbaypublications.com, go to the section How to Study. They'll square you up. That's why we send people there, because everything's there. Everything that you need is there. You really don't need to go anywhere else, really and truly. There's other places that we send you because they're available, but everything is there. They even have a part on the website telling you how to study for new people who are just getting in here, and they so how do I find out about the more? Just go to rvbaypublications.com, click how to study. They'll let you know all the stuff that you need, all the books that you should go get, and that's a start. And then again, speaking about books, you can go to khalifamedia.com, and there's lots of books on there that you can get as well. Intermediate to advanced. And then rvbaypublication.com, by the time you get to the section where the books are, you should have downloaded and printed out so much stuff that you don't even have time to go buy books off there, because there's so much free stuff. So like free stuff, crazy free. Just these Moors just said, you know what, we're just gonna make a website and just put information out so people don't have to get played. And then on top of that, remember, like we said, if you're not the reader type and you rather listen, then you can go to the Blog Talk radio show, MHHS Eyes Wide Open, on Blog Talk Radio. And then they have years of archives, thousands of hours, 2 to 3 hours of archives per broadcast, where Iron Sheik 1 to 7. Iron Sheik 1 to 7 plus the mix CD, best of Moorish MC, 50 notes. Just make your PayPal to Canaanland Guide at gmail.com or culturaleducators at gmail.com. culturaleducators at gmail.com or Canaanland Guide at gmail.com. And for 50 notes, you can get Iron Sheik 1 to 7, plus the mix CD, instead of getting them all individually. And then remember, once you make your donation payment, you can email Canaanlandguide at gmail.com. This is whoever. Here's the number. Made my payment by PayPal. We have no Cash App here, so don't send stuff to Cash App. And here's the Cash App number. That ain't us. I don't know who you sent your finance to. You better go reverse that, because we only have PayPal. And just send an email, let us know that you made your 50 notes or your 10 notes and what album it is that you purchased, and we'll fact check the PayPal, make sure you are who you are, and send you your stuff. Any more questions, put it in the chat. Oh yeah, the Canaanland Moors on YouTube. We got about 3,000 plus videos on there. But it's Blog Talk Radio. MHHS Eyes Wide Open is the show. So it's blogtalkradio.com. And the show, the name of the broadcast is MHHS Eyes Wide Open. Moorish Heritage and History School. Eyes Wide Open. And you'll be, trust me, you go on there, you'll leave enlightened. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. You're gonna leave enlightened. Because you know who's who, because when you leave, you're enlightened. If you watch some YouTube stuff and then you get off and you're just talking about, yeah, I'm just gonna go research something else. The people didn't teach you anything. They just played you. If you sit down for some 3-hour thing, you better leave with 5 pages of notes that you're gonna go study after. If you watch some 3 hours like all these Indians talking crazy, right? For the people who have not nationalized themselves yet, but study and know we are Moors, how should we handle tax exemptions, not paying taxes and being reimbursed the monies that was deducted via tax? Well, everything should be done with being nationalized. You shouldn't be doing anything with knowledge, but I'm not a national, but I'm going to be doing national things because I have the knowledge of it. Don't do that, because then you're in contempt, because only a national could talk a certain way. And again, just go to rvbaypublications.com, and then on the left you're going to see all the tabs going down or whatever like that. Click the one that says taxes, and if that's not good enough, go down to the books section and then get the 2 or 3 books on there about taxes. And then they have all the IRS forms in the book and all that stuff for 10 notes or something, 5 notes. And they're giving you everything that you need to get the taxes back, to not be taxed, whatever it is you need to find out, everything's there. But remember, you want to have a national mindset. You don't want to be a Negro with knowledge about this, and you're gonna go out here and engage in national affairs, because it's eventually not gonna work, because you can't be in a dead status and talk about law and talk about tax exempt. The Negroes aren't tax exempt. I don't care how much knowledge they got. Which is the problem with the conscious community people. Because now they're talking about, correct your status and all that stuff. And they correct your status to Anunnaki. You're a tribe of Anunnakis. You correct your status, pay us $500, and then we'll send you the paperwork so you can correct your status as an Anunnaki. And that's not going to work. That's BS. Anunnaki is not a nationality. And don't let them convince you that it is either. An organization is not a nationality. And a temple is not a nationality. And a tribe is not a nationality. And some fake nation just with only men in it is not a nationality. Which is why we say, get the info first. And while you get the info, right, you're not applying anything. You're detoxing. No different than you did 20 years. You did 20 years in the pen. You're not coming out here and talking about, yeah, we just go to the store and go buy some. No. You're 20 years behind right now. You better get caught up. before you start talking about you're gonna go buy a Motorola phone. Yeah, I just did 50 years. I'm gonna get me an 8-track machine and so I can go listen to this music that I got. You'll be so lost. You want to go back in there. And which is what happens to people. This information gets so overwhelming that they turn around and go right back to being nigger even after they got all this info. And again, Noble Drew Ali warned these people, I'm going to tell you some stuff to make your brain turn to water. So don't take this lightly that you're in this realm. This is serious business. Very serious. Because we know people who proclaimed their nationality, they were El and Bay, and they got to a certain line where they said, forget this, and went back to being African, Negro, black, and all that stuff. Turned in their card and button, went back to being nigger, right where the Prophet found them. That's how powerful this is if you don't take this serious. Which is again why Noble Drew Ali said, if you're going to put your hand on the gospel plow, you better recognize that it's a 50 million acre field that you have to plow. So don't start grabbing hoes and shovels. Yeah, we got this or whatever like that. And then you're looking at the field. No, I quit. No, sorry, there was crazy glue on the handle. So now you're stuck with holding the hole in the hole. So you better get the digging. There's no crazy glue remover. No, sorry. You should have asked some questions before you go grabbing up stuff talking about you're a Moor. I'm a Moor. I want to help plow the field. All right, yeah, go grab that thing over there. You sure there's no crazy glue on that? Oh, okay, smart. You've been studying. Okay, yeah, there's crazy glue on there. So, take your time. Any other questions? Throw them in the chat. Islam to all the Moors worldwide. Islam to all the Moors. Peace and love to all. Yep. Elijah's a Bay. Farrakhan's a Ali. Fard is a L. Everybody knows what's up. Everybody knows. And we know they know. We know they know, but it's all good. They're going to play their little game because they know the people's minds are lost. You know the people's minds are lost. They know the people's minds are lost. But it's all good. When the people are ready, they're gonna grab the bull by the horns, as they say. Honors to all. Islam to all. Honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
The things you read, write on, talk to it, hold it for a while. Quit throwing it away as soon as you get it. In your house, there's a lot of pressure not to be junkie. You'd rather be dead than junkie. You'll be dead because you won't read and study, and you don't study because you don't store it. How can you study unless you store it? So because you have pressure to be neat and cool and clean and look like ultra sheen, you throw away the information and fight the